player. But will the midfielder be a success on Merseyside? We'll discuss that and loads more. We've got a packed show ahead. Reports over Alexander Isak's future have intensified this morning. Will he ever play for Newcastle again? There's another big story concerning Alexander Isak. The Athletic and David Ornstein this morning are reporting that the player is adamant that he will not play for Newcastle again, even if the window closes. So interesting developments, according to David Ornstein. How does Eddie Howe deal with the situation now that this information has come out?
It's very...
The reality of the situation is very simple. We are talking about quotes that are not attributed to the players. We're talking about understandings from journalists. And I do not suggest that David Ornstein doesn't know what he's talking about. He's a top journalist and he probably will have been fed this, but we haven't got any direct quotes at this moment in time. So the player is using the media to funnel information through so that he can say, well, I didn't actually quite mean that when the time comes to pass.
Of course, no doubt.
We know that these things will be resolved.
Yeah.
We have wars going on. We have countries in dispute. We have terrible situations around the world. And at some point, these things come to a resolution. And this will come to a resolution at some point. My hope for Newcastle is that they concentrate the mind of this player. What I'd like to see in situations like this is the unions do something meaningful for a change, like talk about the players' conduct and expectation of players and how they should play for their club. Because if a player is suggesting through the media, whichever media channel it is, that he's not going to play for the club again, then that shouldn't be something that should be allowed, because a contract has to mean something.
Right.
It's not about contracts being breached like the guy that sued UEFA for the compensation clauses as a result of the Russian club that didn't want him anymore and then held his registration. And we've seen all the freedom of argument around contracts in recent times. This is a player that's got a 3-year contract with Newcastle United. And if Newcastle want to be a football club of significance, they have to control their own destiny.
So if you're Newcastle, are you calling Isak's bluff?
I am calling two parties bluff. I'm calling, if indeed bluff is expression, I would have said to Liverpool, and I would imagine it has to be had some conversation, you know, you will pay this price or you will go away. It's really simple. You're not going to agitate. You can do as much as you want, and you can do it in a fashion that you believe is befitting of a big football club, but you're not going to get him for less than this. And you, son, are not going for less than that. So if they don't meet that expectation, you will do as you're told, in the same way that Marinakis filled the void. Whatever you may think about the idea, or it's very simple, Simon, to say what you would and wouldn't do because you did it 20 years ago. Well, it's just been done by Marinakis.
What, Morgan Gibbs-White?
Because he made clear in the player's mind and the player's representation and the idea that people were being inappropriate in their conduct. I will set you guys on fire unless you play properly with me and my football club.
Yeah.
Metaphorically speaking.
One of the key lines in this bombshell tweet from Ornstein, to my mind, is when the word reintegrate comes along. Has no wish to reintegrate.
Yes, but Jim,
if he has no wish to reintegrate, it's going to be a bloody hard job for Eddie and everybody else here.
But you just played a clip.
To get him back in.
People change their minds. People change their positions, and people change. They can adapt their shtick in the same way that you just played out a message from him at the time, which I imagine was pretty apt. I enjoy playing in front of this football club, football fans.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't mean he enjoys playing in front of his football fans for the rest of his natural born life, does it?
No, I know that, but we're talking about a few months ago.
So it's not.
If Liverpool weren't in big for him,
so it's not beyond the.
Would he be saying this? No, he wouldn't.
So it's not beyond the wit of man for him to change his position on the fact that he doesn't want to reintegrate, if indeed he has the courage to actually say that out loud himself. Because he won't have the courage to say it out loud himself, because he'll realise that it's directly attributable to him and there's no road back from that. Right now, there's loads of room for road back for everybody.
Yeah.
There's loads of room for everybody to go, well, I never said this and he never said that, because no one's saying anything on the record.
Which, why now, Simon, should Liverpool increase their offer? Isak's doing the hard graft for them.
To a point. It depends how resolute Newcastle are and how significant a football club they think.
Share for more electrifying Liverpool updates as they happen.